Hi cruise fans, and welcome to my channel Cruise with Grant, where we talk about all things Norwegian Cruise Lines. In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit more about back-to-back cruises and what to expect if you're taking 2 cruises in a row. Back-to-back cruises have become much more popular for people who either plan to take 2 cruises in a row or who are having so much fun on their cruise that they decide while they're on board that they want to stay on for the next cruise. So without further ado, let's get into what to expect when you're taking back-to-back cruises on Norwegian Cruise Line. Let's go. Now, my experience that I'm going to be sharing with you is based on my back-to-back cruise on the Norwegian Star back in December of 2019. My cruise left from Barcelona in Spain and was a transatlantic to Miami, and then a South American cruise that went from Miami down to Santiago de Chile. In total, I was very lucky. It was 29 magical days on the Norwegian Star, and gave me a lot of really great tips I can pass along about what to expect with back-to-back cruises. So before we get started with this video, I'm making this update because I've done my second back-to-back cruise just recently in April 2022 on the Norwegian Encore, and some of my experiences on the Encore have been different than my experience on the Star, so you may see some additional footage that I've added in the future to share these differences in my experience. One of my favorite things about cruise vacations is that it's like a home away from home. As soon as I get into my room, the first thing I want to do is put away my clothes, stow my luggage away, and have the room set up in a way that I can enjoy for the whole vacation. So the nice thing about back-to-back cruises is you don't have to worry about luggage. You may have to pack up because your room number may have changed, but you don't have to worry about taking your luggage off the ship. You let your room steward make all of those arrangements for you. So near the end of my first cruise, my room steward actually spoke to me and gave me some instructions about the luggage tags that I would use so that they could move my luggage from my first room for the first cruise into my second room. So even though in a moment we'll talk about what happens when you have to go through customs, your luggage stays on board the ship so that you don't have to worry about it. Just so there are no surprises, depending on the locations of your sailing, where you're traveling to and from, you may have to go through customs in between your back-to-back cruises. So in my cruise, we were traveling from Europe and we had to get off the ship in Miami to go through the United States customs. But Norwegian organizes all of this. It was very, very smooth. So towards the end of my first cruise, I got information that on the day of disembarkation, we would meet all the cruisers who were doing back-to-backs would meet in one of the ship's lounges. And there was a dedicated Norwegian staff person who sat with us while we waited for the rest of the passengers to disembark, and then guided us through US Customs. We got to go to the front of the line. We did have to wait in the terminal area for about 90 minutes. So again, if you're doing back-to-back cruises and have to go through customs, you may want to bring a book or some playing cards or some music just to keep you busy in that period while you're waiting to get back on board. So when I did my back-to-back on the Norwegian Star, as I mentioned, we had to get off the ship and go to the terminal building. But on my most recent back-to-back on the Encore, we just had to go to the Manhattan room, one of the main dining rooms. And they had the customs agents there, as well as the security from the ship, who scanned our cards so we disembarked without leaving the ship, and then scanned us back in so that we could start our next cruise. So we didn't actually have to leave the ship. We just went to the Manhattan room and they did all of the processing there, and we got to stay on the ship the whole time. In terms of the experience on the Encore, I also want to give a huge kudos to NCL. They had everything very well organized. We met in the Maltings bar ahead of time until all of the back-to-back cruisers had gathered together, and then we were guided into the Manhattan room where they actually had coffee and tea and sandwiches until we were ready to go through the embarkation and disembarkation process. So it was really smooth and also very comfortable while we were waiting. So after I finished the customs clearance process and I had re-embarked on board, the first thing I had to do was go to the guest services desk so that they could change my key card. They changed it to indicate the new end date of my cruise because the first key card had the first leg of my back-to-back, so they updated it. It also was the key to my new room. So just like on the Star, I changed rooms midway through the cruise. I actually got an upgrade again, complimentary from NCL, from a lower deck up to a higher deck. One thing related to key cards for me was I actually changed Latitude's rewards benefits tiers throughout the course of the cruise. So I moved from silver into gold, which was really amazing. So if again you're doing multiple cruises and you are changing Latitude's tiers, this will be reflected partway through your cruise. So that's really awesome. If moving tiers offers you free laundry or dinner vouchers or additional discounts on excursions or at the onboard shops. So that's something that you can look forward to if you're doing multiple cruises. And right now, Norwegian is offering a lot of past guest offers where you may be even getting double points for some of the cruises. So that's an easy way to accrue points and then immediately to be able to benefit from them if you're doing a back-to-back cruise. The last thing I wanted to talk about was something that I hinted at a little bit earlier, in that you can decide partway through your vacation that you're having such a good time and you want to continue on a back-to-back cruise. So if you're looking to do a back-to-back cruise, the best way to go about this is go to the Cruise Next desk and you can ask them about what the cost is and if there's availability for the next sailing for the same ship that you're on. Now, it's not a guarantee that they're going to have rooms available, but I do know friends who have been trying to do a back-to-back and found that the cruise is sold out, but then talk to the Cruise Next desk while they're on the ship and find out that there is some availability because of perhaps some last-minute cancellations. So it is a good opportunity and potentially can give you some really big discounts if the cruise line is looking to fill some rooms at the last minute. They'll often match deals that are happening on other cruises at that time, offer significant discounts or potentially even some room upgrades because they're trying to fill some of the rooms that are left. So again, if you've got some flexibility and you want to look at doing a back-to-back cruise, this might be a good option for you if you're not sure that you want to book it in advance or if you're finding a cruise that you wanted seems like it's already sold out. So just a bonus from something that I learned on my most recent back-to-back is this was my first time getting the shareholder benefit, and I'll talk about this in another video. That's where you own shares of NCL and you get onboard credit. So I had claimed my shareholder benefit for both of my back-to-back cruises, and I was really nicely surprised to see that I hadn't used up all of my credit from the first cruise, and they carried that over so that I could use it on the second cruise as well. So that was really nice. So if you have credit, non-refundable credit, they will carry that over from the first cruise to the second cruise. The other thing to note is if you're tracking any expenses through your onboard account, that will all accumulate. So you don't have to cash out at the end of your first cruise. They will just continue carrying forward all of your expenses, your purchases, as well as any credits right through until the end of your time on board. And then you'll settle up your account as usual on any kind of cruise. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, please remember to give it a like and also to subscribe to my channel. It really does help me out and motivates me to keep creating content for you about Norwegian Cruise Lines to help you have an amazing vacation. Until next time, have a great day!